Doug Kent into that.
By a score of 216 to 194. Kent in the first. And again, if you missed that earlier match, Doug has been working on his timing. He's changed his pivot foot and the step. And what has that done?
Well, what that's done is it's softened up his hand a little bit at release. He felt that he was lofting it a little bit too much, hitting the ball a little bit too hard. And when the lane conditions are as sensitive as they are in the sport condition, it makes the ball do funny things down the lane. It makes it jerk really hard one shot, makes it, you know, wide right, missing the head pin the next shot. It's just real unpredictable and really hard to read. First look at Walter Ray Williams Jr. Getting real used to seeing this face. Fourth telecast in a row.
Appearances back to back to back to back. Sounds like the boomer, Chris Vernon, right?
Yeah.
If it's affected him at all, he says, yeah, he said a lot of his friends have said it's kind of like the Walter Ray show. And he said, hey, you know what? That's not true. He's just trying to make the most of it and sweeten that bank account.
Well, you know, he's riding the wave right now. As you take a look at the road to him getting here, defeated Danny Wiseman 3 and out. Patrick Healy last night. Lee Johnson. And the one thing that Walter Ray's looking for that he hasn't had in the other 3 telecasts is when his ball hits the pocket, it's striking. You saw that late 10-pin fall there? It's exactly what he's looking for.
Well, most of you pros, whether it's Randy Peterson or Doug Kent there or Mike Machuga, who you'll see in the finals, look for an area. And the key then is just to find the good reaction.
Well, you know, Walter Ray's always prided himself on being very accurate and never missing his target. Whether or not he does or doesn't, I think the most important thing is that he doesn't think he ever does. Doug goes to a much straighter ball. He's going to move cross lane. This ball's made out of plastic, with a real scary looking face on it. And I guess if it doesn't hit the pin, it'll scare it down.
It's that time of the year. Burlington's spring deals are in the air. Styles.
At the Super Bowl here, John Gant, who's the co-proprietor, and 4-time PBA champion Johnny Eagleson, also a co-proprietor.
John Gant, the buzzsaw.
Well, there are 2 Grants, Jim Gant and John Gant.
John Gant, ex-PBA player, now proprietor. Good shot there by Dougie. Dougie Fresh, as he's known by many of his friends out here on tour. Walter Ray working on a double. I asked Walter Ray, Jim, last night, I said, what are you going to do different on TV tonight than you've done the last 3 weeks? He says, absolutely nothing.
I think you're going to say we're an exciting shirt.
So, you know, this is the thing that you look for. When his ball hits the pocket, it's not exactly flush in the 1-3. What happens to the 10-pin? Is there something going to the sidewall, taking the 10-pin out? And early on, that's been the case. The first ball he threw in the first frame was perfect, flush in the pocket. The next 2 were what we call the, you know, that where the ball's a little bit lighter in the pocket, where you got to get some kind of help. Otherwise, the 10-pin's going to stand. Walter's perfect through 3.
Perfect through 4. Deep breath by Doug, knows he's up against a freight train.
Right, frame 3, watch the action of the 6-pin going to the sidewall. Catches a piece of the 10. Frame 4, watch this. Ball's right in the little 1-3. 6 goes to the wall, cuts the 10 in half. That's the kind of stuff that Walter Ray's been looking for.
Up by 31. He's getting so good he knows where the camera's going. Kent coming back.
Doug looks like he's moved his angle or his target a little bit further left, getting a little bit closer to where Walter Ray is playing the lanes. Great student. He sees what's working for Walter Ray. Doug, being very versatile, changes line, changes angle on command.
Doug won the first of his 4 PBA crowns back in '96 at the Greater Detroit Open. Run the ladder back then for the win.
'99, he mowed the field, and I was one of the guys. I know firsthand what he's capable of doing.
Bears in 1 and 2, strikes 3, 4, and 5.
Dougie Fresh sets game on. Changed his line a little bit. Jimmy moved his target a little bit left, going a little bit straight and a little bit harder. Now he trails Walter Ray by just 11.
Walter's always looking for that mistake area, and we'll tell you that's why the oil pattern is so important for the pro.
You're exactly right, and right now Walter looks like he's just making shot after shot. This ball is what we call high flush, where the 6 doesn't have to go around the 10, it just goes right into it, and he knows it. Usually when the ball hits into that zone, 99.9% of the time it's going to strike. Swiss zone with the Ripper 5.
6 in a row. If the kids are watching, you want to be like him. Walter says, enjoy the game, practice a lot, and learn as much as you can and bowl under all types of conditions. Can he hang on? Maybe a 300 game. Lane 45 and 46, the highlight here. We're at the Super Bowl, just outside Greater Cincinnati. A 6-bagger for Walter. 7.
Taking care of the 10 pin this week is what he couldn't do the last 3 weeks. He's getting it done now.
Doug Kent, meanwhile, had strikes in 3, 4, and 5, a spare in the 6th, and a strike in the 7th for Doug. Pretty straight.
20 miles an hour, the 9th board going real direct. 6 pin goes to the sidewall. That's your friend. When you see that happening, the pins are cooperating, you know you're doing the right deal.
And a 1/10 of a mile an hour at 40 feet. That translates to 8 strikes in a row.
Front 8. His ball's hitting the pocket, and it's striking.
Well, it wasn't that many weeks ago. Pete Weber electrified the crowd and gave us a 299.
It's not looking good, is it, Rand?
You heard Doug said it's not looking good, Rand.
Very astute.
I talked to Walter Ray before we went on air. I said, Walter, do us a favor, shoot 300 for us. Doug, I'm sorry.
The 4th and no,
well, I think the important thing that Doug needs to reflect back on is the fact that he did make a change in his game, put in the time and the effort, and found instant results this week. Needs to take that with him to the next tournament.
And they'll have the rematch.
And another 4th and
And that Monday night game, we've queued the orchestra up. It's Monday Night Football, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Denver paper this morning, they were handicapping that game. They said, what are the Ravens or the Titans missing? And the writer said, heart. So heartless, isn't it? Monday Night Football tomorrow, 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Well, hey, speaking of Titans, there's one right here on the right lane looking for 9 in a row. We saw it a couple of weeks ago, Jim.
Was that a Randy Johnson fastball? Walter looked like he had a little extra oomph on that one.
Walter Ray's doing exactly what Walter Ray does best. He's going direct. He's keeping the ball on a straight line. He's hitting his target, and he's repeating shots. Walter Ray, 3 strikes away from perfection.
Make it, rain girl, make it.
You again. Everybody's love.
Tell you, one guy who's breathing a sigh of relief is Mike Machuga. He's saying, thank God it's not against me in the finals, huh?
Right. He's also thinking, get it out of your system quick. But with Walter Ray, he's liable to do the same exact thing next game. He's taking a re-rack. He wants everything to be perfect. $10,000 for a perfect game. Walter Ray Williams has already won the match. He will advance to bowl Mike Machuga for the title.
It could be a $50,000 night for Walter. 40 for winning the championship.
Oh! Just a Tremendous shot. Walter Williams Jr. with a spare shoots 289.
On their feet at the Super Bowl. In the semifinal match. Well, you don't win 33 PBA crowns. Here's the shot. The 10. No.
He was getting that hit the entire game. When he needed it the most, it goes right around the 10 pin.
One more to bowl with 40,000 on the line. So after 4 straight TV appearances, a chance for the championship.